The opinions made in this video do not necessarily coincide with that of Imaginary Goddess, or anyone else for that matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi, it's Makuto here with another episode of Talking Weiss with Black Guy. So today I'm going to go over Angel Beats.
While he's eating brownies.
Yeah, while I'm eating brownies.
Obviously.
Yeah. I kind of like Angel Beats. It's a pretty good set. I know it's one of the older sets, and it used to be tethered to Kudo Wafer, which of course we didn't get. So Angel Beats is only yellow-red, which might throw little people off. They can't do red-blue or anything like that. So first off, I'm just going to go with the zeros. I've got two of these Innocent Eyes. You can use these to give plus power, which is pretty good, especially since a lot of my zeros are really low. Like this Student Council, I only use this to, you pay one, put it into memory, and then you can get another Student Council out of the waiting room. I use that to get the give all cards hand encore, which is really good, level 1. And then there's Max Tension, another good memory card. I pretty much just use these just to mill them out of my deck. This, and I can put a card on top of my opponent's deck. That kind of just adds more cards so they're further away from a climax. So, gotta love that. That is a, when it's die, pay 2, put it into memory, and you can salvage. Great card. Just to get, one or two things early in the game out, especially like the backup, stuff like that. And the Genius Hacker alarms. Now, this is one of the older game mechanics that you haven't really seen in any of the newer sets, but they did have a lot in the older sets where if this is on top of your clock, it affects your field somehow. And this specific alarm is, if it's on top, any card gets the ability, when it attacks, gives something plus 5. So, really good for low power decks, just to add a little boost, and it's a guaranteed something in your hand that you can clock without having to worry about it too much. So, very good. If this was a shift also, that'd be awesome. But, that's how it is. So, level 1s. Let's see, I'll play with this, Positioning Yui. This is good. I play it because during my turn, I get plus 5 for every death. And since I play with all death characters, she gets really high. She starts at 5, but it's only on my turn, but as long as I have the character encore, it doesn't really matter. I have 2 of these in here just to have some stronger characters. I try to play with a lot of 1-0s or 0 cost level 1s, just because level 0 is cost heavy with all the memory, and level 2 and 3 is kind of cost heavy, just to get people on the field. So I try not to have too many of these, but I have 2 just in case, and they are tap plus power, so you can tap something and give her plus 1,000. So you can make her a 8,000 if you have 2 back row that aren't the backups. And then I have the Roll Big Sister. This is the change. Really like this card. It changes into level 2, and it's on Encore. So I attack with it as long as it's tapped. When I Encore, put this into memory, which gives me another card of memory, and I change into the grade 2, which is this one. But really good. Then I have the backup. This is all characters with character encore, get plus 1,000. Great card. It does cost 2 because it is flat 1,000 and not a plus power or times, something like that. It's just straight 1,000, so usually cards like that, especially in the older sets, 2 cost and comes with a trigger. Very nice. And this is the other card I always play in the back row. This is the gives every card that's death. Character encore. Great card. And I can tap it to get something 1,000. I run 2 just to make it easier to get. Maybe one goes into stock or something, I just have 2 of them. I tried to run 1 at first, because I thought I can get it with salvage or the search card at 0, but for some reason it kept ending up in clock, and I was like disappointed. Alright, so then I'm playing the Brainstorm, and I really like this Brainstorm. This is one of the older style Brainstorms. I think mostly now it's just top 4 for a climax, and then something happens. This one's really nice. 0 cost, level 1. Check the top 3. For every death character you can get 1 character out of your waiting room with that cost, or not the cost, but that level. So say you flip 2 death characters in 1 climax or 1 event, then you get a level 2. 1 level 2 or lower. So that's really handy, especially late in the game. Get you an extra card in your hand. If you're lucky, you check 3 and you get a level 3. Sometimes I've actually used it and checked 2 of these in a climax and just got nothing and kind of disappointed, but still a really great Brainstorm, I think. And then last is this card. Please Call Me Christ. Really like this card. The first time I made this deck, I was trying to make it centered around this card, because level 1 you pay 2 and you can put any card from their waiting room out of game or into memory. So you can kind of use this to mill out climaxes, or you can use it to mill out grade 3s that are really powerful that they can use to change into later. So at first I was playing before their first refresh, mill out climaxes, after their first refresh, mill out grade 3s. But it was just really expensive, especially with all the level 0s I used that go to memory. So by the time I got to level 1, even if I had 1 or 2 of these in my hand, I couldn't play them right away. Because first off, you have to have 3 people on the field for it to work, and then it costs 2, so it was just really expensive. So I have 2 in there just so I can throw it out every once in a while, mess with their field a little bit, or stuff like that. Then my level 2s. This is the Graduation. This is the Change. And if I reverse something, and I have 2 or more characters in memory, then I can swap a card in my hand. Really, it's mostly just like a salvage and discard, but technically the same thing, just swap. And then playing these. This is a climax combo. It's pretty good. It comes with its own character encore. It's got some good effects with the climax, so I really like this card. And it's a 2 cost, it gets 2 soul. You always want to have at least 1 2 soul at level 2. Since this one's only 1 soul, you kind of want to do that extra damage. And then for my grade 3s, I'm actually just playing the draw 2 and discard 1. While it's probably not as favored as the heals, but especially with Kantai out, and we have a player here that uses Gargantia, stuff like that. They have anti-heal, so a lot of heal cards these days just aren't working very well in our circuit. So the draw 2s, the discard, or the salvage grade 3s actually work a lot better, because you can actually still do their effects. Whereas if it's a heal, then you're pretty much out of luck because you can't heal. So I play that. And as for the climaxes, just regular climaxes here. Got 5 gates, and the plus 1 soul climax, I can get extra soul. And that's about it for Angel Beats, my Angel Beats deck. I had a lot of fun looking at the cards themselves. I think Angel Beats, the gimmick really for Angel Beats is these memory cards, because they had a lot of cards that go to memory. So I'm kind of thinking that's where they were going with it. They do have 2 of the alarm cards on red. Haven't really looked at a lot of the yellow cards, just because there's a lot of people around here that wanted yellow, so I just wanted to make a red deck so I can sell my yellow cards. But I'm really happy with this deck. Doesn't really win that much. I do have a hard time getting this card out because it is a cost 2. For a while, every time I lost a character, I would just throw it straight into the memory, just so I can mill my deck really small, so I would have less cards when I was checking climaxes. But that was giving me a problem later game with stock. But as far as playing goes, I do enjoy it. It's a fun deck to play, especially with all the salvaging and the searching and the shuffling. Those kind of decks I feel are the best, other than just straight play decks. And this, with all that stuff too, especially with Character Encore, you get a lot of cards in your hand. You don't have to spend too much stock on saving people. So that's always fun. And so that's my Angel Beats. Angel Beats, I do enjoy the series as a Weiss set. So if you get a chance to pick some up, go ahead. I'm also going to talk about a little bit about Log Horizon. I know this set actually came out a while ago. We don't really have too many people playing it here, but I really want to talk about the main grade 3s because they're all really good. And usually I probably may play like 1 or 2 grade 3s, and that's about it. But from this deck, I feel like you have to play all of them for it to do anything, or for it to be really good. First thing is, when you're grade 2, you want to get the change out. Because you have so many grade 3s that you have to get out, and it's going to cost a lot. And a lot of these cards have a lot of effects. So I want to try to get the Akatsuki out as quickly as possible. So I try to use the change just so she can be out right away, and I can use her attacks to get more stock for the other guys. The only problem I have is sometimes when she comes out before Shuei's backup. So she's only at like 11k or 10-5, something like that, which is usually easy to get around. You almost have to have her in the middle, so you can have the backup, the 5k backup, or no, not 5k, but 500 backup, and the Shuei with Brainstorm, so she can have 11-5. So I always try to keep a backup. This backup's like the best. It's 35 for 1 cost. There's also the other backup I like to use sometimes, the grade 2. It's super powerful, great backup. I know you use it. It's a cost 1 2-5, but pay 2 more and you can shuffle your cards back into your deck, which is pretty good if you're really low, or if you just want to make sure you get to that next climax and you don't have to worry about the clock damage or the refresh damage. So I'm running both of these just as a precaution, but I always want to try to keep one of these in my hand when I play this, because if I put her on the field and she dies right away, then that's pretty pointless. I have to waste stock to save her, or I have to let her go and hope I'm grade 3 next turn. Because if you let her go and you're not grade 3 next turn, then you're kind of out of luck because you just don't have anything on the field. Unless you have the Clock Encores characters, like the grade 1 Akatsuki. 1 cost, really great card. I like that. Tap something, it gets 1,000, and she's Clock Encores, so great card. But mainly the feel I want to get, these 2 up front, that in the middle, and these 2 in the back. But, that's a lot. It's a pretty expensive field. Usually I might get one of these, and usually I get like this, or sometimes I've gotten this, but just one of these. But as long as he's in the middle, any frontal attack goes to him. And we've counted up, and he's pretty much 17-5 alone. If you have one of these, he's like a 21 or something like that. Really hard to get up over. I know we have someone in our meta that plays Fairy Tail, so he has a 65k or 6,500 backup, which is a great event. So he can use it on his turn. Use that, get over me really fast, and then kill that guy. So you have to have this in your hand or something. Or also the tap Shuei to give opposing character -2 soul on reverse. Great card. And can't take event damage. So as long as Shuei is on the field, if someone has a card that's like the level 3, it's pay an extra 1 and take a damage, you don't take damage. Or the any kind of climax combo that's swing, reverse, take a damage. As long as Shuei's in the back, you don't take damage from that. So great combo, the Shearways, plus 1,000 per level. So, all your grade 3s are up 3. Just super powerful, especially the Akatsuki Climax combo. On reverse, take a damage. Oh, she's also plus 4k with the combo. So, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the Log Horizon. I do have fun playing with the deck. Try to play with a lot of Clock Encore, stuff like that, just so I can keep my stock. There is the Brainstorm, which is really good. Plus 1,000 to the middle on your opponent's turn, and then pay 1 top 4 for a draw. Draw Brainstorms aren't, I wouldn't say they were one of the better ones, but it is what it is. It's blue, so I probably would have preferred a search or a salvage. Salvage more than search, of course, but draw is pretty good too because it helps you with hand advantage, which you kind of need with this deck. Just so if anything happens, you can throw something out on the field really fast. But that's all I have for you guys today. Again, thanks for watching, and put in the links to any comments you have. If any of you guys are playing these decks or playing Angel Beats or Log Horizon, and you have any kind of comments or anything you want to ask me about, any kind of deck strategies or stuff like that, just let me know about it, and I can see what I can do. And thanks for watching.